Dan, give us the reasons for the hawkish dissents. You know, I mean, obviously we can, you know, assess ourselves what the UK economy is like, but what did the BOE members decide?
So I think it's twofold really why the hawks dissented today. The first is unemployment. It's fallen faster than the Bank of England's May forecast. It's now within a hair's breadth of what the Bank of England consider the equilibrium rate, which is 4.5%. The actual rate is 4.6%. The second reason is that the hawks don't think that there's going to be as much of a demand slowdown in the economy. They believe that the slowdown in household consumption that we've seen in the first quarter is likely to be offset by faster investment spending and also a boost to net trade. So if you bring all those things together, what you see over the forecast, at least in their opinion, is less slack, more potential upward pressure on wages. Add to that the slight fall in the pound we've seen since the election, and you end up with a bigger overshoot of inflation at the 2- and 3-year forecast horizon, and that, you have to remember, is the bit of the forecast that the Bank of England is really focused on.
Dan, let's look at that chart which I was just focusing on. I mean, this goes back to Monday, so this is the probability taken on Monday. So it doesn't take into account everything that's happened this week, but we're at 35%. We're at 50% before the election. One would expect that to move up when it's updated. Forbes leaves the MPC, so that's one of the three who disappears. The dynamic. Talk to me about the dynamic on the MPC right now. I mean, this is a less dovish BOE, isn't it?
It is right now, and you're quite right to point out that Forbes leaves, so that leaves two. And the new members coming in, I think they'd have to be pretty bold to go with the hawks straight away. Normally you see them going with the majority, and certainly with the governor, Mark Carney. But I think the data's really going to rein back the hawks in time. I think we're actually more on the dovish end of the spectrum, where I'm sitting on the MPC, and I think, you know, that offset that I was talking about, where consumer spending, the slowdown in consumer spending is offset by stronger net trade, stronger investment. We don't think that's going to come through. We think uncertainty in the economy is going to weigh on investment and net trade, and you're still going to get that slowdown in consumer spending. So I think the dynamic will shift back towards the doves. But, you know, it remains to be seen. A lot depends on who those new members are.